This is chapter 1 of Mystery Babylon Unveiled, Lucifer, the Queen of Heaven. One of the reasons that Mystery Babylon has never been exposed as a spirit is the prevailing belief among believers of the Bible that there are no female spirits or female angels. This is not something that the Bible has indicated at all. The truth is that female spirits are in the Bible, and I will show you where this can be found. Perhaps one of the most overlooked passages in the Bible is Zechariah chapter 5, verse 5 through 11. Even to distinguished biblical scholars, these verses have proven difficult to adequately interpret. I have a very simple approach to it. That is, to take it literally. Things often make perfect sense when you stop trying to make something that isn't a metaphor into a metaphor. As the passage reads, I will scroll down some here. I'm sorry, this is not going to be a smooth process. Then the angel that talked with me went forth and said unto me, Lift up now thine eyes, and see what is this that goeth forth. And I said, What is it? And he said, This is an ephah that goeth forth. And he said, Moreover, this is their resemblance to all the earth. And behold, there was lifted up a talent of lead, and this is a woman that sitteth in the midst of the ephah. And he said, This is wickedness. And he cast the woman into the midst of the ephah, and he cast the weight of lead upon the mouth thereof. Then lifted I up mine eyes, and looked, and behold, there came out two women, and the wind was in their wings, for they had wings like the wings of a stork. And they lifted up the ephah between the earth and the heaven. Then said I to the angel that talked with me, Whither do these bear the ephah? And he said unto me, To build it an house in the land of Shinar, and it shall be established and set there upon her own base. Again, that is Zechariah chapter 5, verse 5 through 11. Okay, skip to the next page. We'll do that. So starting here we have three very interesting women who appear in the Bible. We know from the details given by Zechariah that at least two of these women have wings. Winged creatures in the Bible are typically spirits. These two women lift the ephah or the basket and carry the basket off to the land of Shinar, the ancient location of Babylon, so that its contents can be placed on a pedestal in a house built for it. If these were two men, I doubt anyone would hesitate to call them angels, but since they are women, the tendency is to try to explain them away as symbols. It is important to note that with regard to biblical prophecy, when a vision is symbolic, it will be followed by an explanation of the meaning. The angel, let's go to the next page now, talking with Zechariah, doesn't explain what these women represent. That means that these women are exactly what Zechariah sees, literal women with wings. Furthermore, the description of these women does not involve similes, except as it relates to their wings. For example, the angel talking with Zechariah doesn't say that these women are as a or like a woman. He says that they are women. The only time that he uses a simile, is when he says that their wings are like the wings of a stork. There is nothing said or shown in this vision to lead us to the conclusion that these women are anything other than literal women. Not that the existence of these two women with wings, dare I even say angels, isn't important by itself, but there is an even more important woman seen in Zechariah's vision. The woman who is being carried in the basket, or in that basket, has two important titles given to her. The one that I will discuss first is wickedness. No description is given of her, nor are any similes used, making it almost impossible to explain her away as a symbol for something else. Additionally, the angel talking with Zechariah does not give any symbolic meaning whatsoever with regard to her. I see no reason that she shouldn't be taken as the literal embodiment of wickedness. I have to scroll down a little bit so you can read that. So I see no reason she shouldn't be taken as the literal embodiment of wickedness. Again, I must emphasize that the angel speaking with Zechariah does not say that the subject is only appearing as a or like a woman. There isn't any room, given the definitive language that is used, for us to draw the conclusion that her being a woman is a disguise. Neither this woman carried in the basket, nor the woman riding the beast in Revelation chapter 17 would be called a woman if it was a disguise. All scripture is given by inspiration of God, 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 16. If we insist that it is a disguise of Satan, despite this clear evidence in the scriptures before us, we will surely be suffering from a case of cognitive dissonance. Some will bring up 2 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 14, which says, "And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light." But how does transforming into an angel of light serve as proof that Satan is disguised as a woman? Let's read the verse and keep it in its proper context to understand what is really being said. So reading here at the first line, "For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Therefore it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works." The context is deceitful workers transforming themselves into ministers of righteousness. The Apostle Paul wasn't talking about changing genders. Satan is transformed into an angel of light, and our ministers are also are transformed into ministers of righteousness. Some may insist that Lucifer must use the disguise of a woman to deceive man, but let's keep this in mind. John chapter 1:18 says, "No man has seen God at any time." And Jesus Christ says in Matthew 18:10, "In heaven their angels do always behold the face of my Father which is in heaven." To me, it is just plain ridiculous to suggest that Satan, who led a third of the angels who have beheld the face of God to rebel against him, would need to use a female disguise to convince man to rebel against the same God who he has never seen at any time. It is a poorly thought out justification for the belief that Satan is only disguised as a woman. I implore the reader in love to set aside their bias as we move forward in exposing the true identity of Lucifer. So the angel talking with Zechariah gives the woman who is called wickedness a second identifier, that is the eye. We will come back to this identifier later when we discuss symbols associated with Lucifer. What happens with this woman called wickedness is she is sealed or hidden underneath a lid, and she is carried to the land of Shinar, which is Babylon. Let me scroll down a little bit here without losing my place, hopefully. So in Revelation 17, we see another woman who is wicked and lives in Babylon, a woman whose sins have, quote, reached unto heaven, unquote. She rides on top of a scarlet-colored beast and has a name written on her forehead. Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. This is most definitely the same woman from Zechariah 5. But here is the question. Revelation chapter 17 verse 18 says that the woman who John sees is that great city which reigns over the kings of the earth. So how can it be true that she is the devil? Once you realize the connection that the city of Babylon has to the Queen of Heaven, it becomes clear that this is a prophecy that has two subjects. There is a Babylon in the natural realm, and there is a Babylon in the spiritual realm. The Babylon in the spiritual realm is Lucifer. We have a rule for this in Ephesians 6:12, which says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." The prophecies against Babylon the Great are ultimately fulfilled in the spiritual realm, and we will fully expose that spirit in this book. This is an image. It's a little bit hard to, Let me see if I can scroll this way without it skipping too much. Alright, well, that's a little bit better. Actually, let me zoom out too. So this is a statue called the Caduceus, and it is by James Muir. I believe I pronounced that right. And to me, looking at this image, it invokes the image of Ishtar. And I said I wouldn't give too much commentary on this video, so I'm just sharing that image. And that is the end of chapter 1, which is This is Wickedness. The next chapter in the next video will be on chapter 2, which is Lost in Translation. Mystery Babylon Unveiled. Lucifer, the Queen of Heaven, brings to light Bible scriptures which prove that the one known as Satan, the devil, and Lucifer is in fact a woman. It reveals how she is identified in the Bible as the Queen of Heaven and the great whore of Babylon. This book also brings forth incontrovertible historic evidence confirming that Lucifer was worshipped in the earliest recorded history as the Great Mother Goddess, and that she is still worshipped as such within the halls of secret societies today. Discover where the world's worship of the goddess began and where it is hidden within the pages of this book. Mystery Babylon Unveiled, Lucifer, the Queen of Heaven is available in paperback and ebook at all online sellers. If your local bookstore or library doesn't carry this book, please request it. By doing so, you will help get the book onto more shelves. Mystery Babylon Unveiled, Lucifer, the Queen of Heaven contains essential knowledge that all Christians should take hold of. It is an insightful and profound revealing of one of the greatest mysteries in the world.